Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest Yeovil Town interview. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by our chairman, Scott Priestnall. Scott, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Sam?
I'm not too bad, thanks at all. Should we get started?
Good.
The main sort of prevailing talking point at the moment is obviously the country's in its second lockdown now. What's been the impact of that and sort of COVID in general in the last recent few months, really?
We're similar to many other football clubs and other businesses in that it's extremely draining to our staff, draining to our finances. But we're obviously grateful to National Lottery, to Camelot, to the government, the National League Football Association, for putting rescue package together to keep the season or the league still operating. So we're in a much better place than we could have been, and but still there are still challenges, and the challenges are probably out of our control still, in the fact that I still don't think that the allocation of funds is where it needs to be yet. But I'm grateful to the National League to be re-looking at that, and an independent committee putting in place to review the model that's been allocated. So yeah, we are in a good place. We're playing football, not successful as so far as we would have hoped, but we're playing football, and I think our season now really starts from here, in the fact that we've got some finance coming in, and I'm talking with Darren every day about how we can improve things on the pitch.
You speak about improving on the pitch there. How much scope is there for investment in the squad in the current financial situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've obviously had a very cautious hat on going through this difficult COVID period. We haven't just gone out and signed lots of players. We've been very prudent in a lot of the players that we've brought in have been on loan, so it gives us flexibility. But we've only signed players that we actually wanted, and we did that last year, and we've done that again this year. We haven't just taken what the market is puts out there. We've actually identified players we want and got the players in. There's still strengthening needs to be done. I think our boys are improving all the time. Our performances are definitely improving, and yeah, we will strengthen. But we had to get. I've always said this from the very start that I came into the club, and it's that we have to get this club to a sustainable position at some point. We're still not there, but we have to do that, and it would have been irresponsible of me, and like many other owners that can quite easily be irresponsible and just put out what our normal budget for players would have been this year, and to do that without any guarantee of any of our revenues being replaced, or supporters in stadiums, or any of those things. It would have just been irresponsible. It could have been Yeovil done overnight, and I genuinely mean that. So I believe I've done it the right way. I've kept all my team in the loop as we've gone along, and we're still in a good place, and we need to continue. And we're all in this for us to be successful. We're all in here to win promotion. We're all to get back to the EFL. Everybody wants the same things. It's just because COVID is hit doesn't mean that we don't want those things. We still want those things, but and I've said this before, we'll always do it in the right way. I will never be irresponsible with this football club.
Have you felt somewhat encouraged then to hear in the recent talk of, say, fans maybe returning to stadiums and as soon as next month, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I obviously it's not just from a financial point you need supporters, but you also want to get the atmosphere and the whole energy and enthusiasm and passion about football back. And it's really difficult to watch it on a stream. It's better than nothing, but it is really difficult. You want to be there, you want to cheer your team on, and you want to be part of the experience. So I think it's incredibly exciting, or maybe exciting is the wrong word, but it's great that the government are going to consider at some point returning of supporters. certainly don't think it's going to be this year, and I can't see it being too early on in the beginning of next year. But I hope it is. But the fact that they are now looking at it, and they, I think they've come out and said that they're going to, as soon as lockdown is ended, that they're going to open that conversation. DCMS are going to open the conversation up again with government. I think it's really positive.
Brilliant. And another positive note would be that the club shop opened this week. How pleased have you been with that and seen the impact of that, not only financially, but see the fans sort of connecting with the club again as well?
Absolutely pleased and frustrated. It's been such a frustrating time. We could have launched it a week ago. We could have launched it 2 weeks ago. But the platform just wasn't ready. It wasn't where we wanted it to be. We'd have had people buying shirts and not being able to put a name on the back of it. Things like that. So we could have got it out sooner. But I think we've launched it in a way that means that you can actually buy stuff now, and I hope people do go and buy stuff. Stock has been arriving all week. Crowdfunder packages are going out. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's overdue. I think I've said before that the only reason we didn't build our own shop in the first place was because it was going to be part of one of our commercial deals. That deal fell through because of all kinds of restrictions and difficulties we've had over the last few months. So we just went out and built one and hopefully it's fit for purpose and it does a good job.
Brilliant. Also say this, a success of our season has been sort of the young players coming through. You've seen Gabby Rogers score the winner at Bromley, and also Toby Stevens get his contract and just last week. How good has that been for, say, the club's ecosystem to have local players coming through and doing so well for the club?
Oh, it's tremendously important. I'm chuffed to bits for Toby. I really am. I'm chuffed for Gabby. I mean, I sent Gabby a text message after the FA Cup game. That boy has improved dramatically over the last few months. He was never kind of there or thereabouts last year. He was always around the squad, but never got his opportunity really. And I've seen, even when I go down and watch training, you can see the improvement in his game. He's got himself stronger. He looks like he runs faster. He looks like he's dedicated. He's a flair player, so you never want to take that away from him. But he's come into a team under difficult circumstances, and he's fought hard. He's almost had to change his game again to make sure it works in the positions that he's working in. And he's done brilliant, and I'm really chuffed for the boy. I told him so, and I hope that he's part of our future. I really do.
Brilliant. Over the last year, then we've seen the fans get involved so much, and say the crowdfunder, and now investing into the club shop as well. How important have they been really to keep their support coming over the last year?
I've banged on about this all. I think the supporters of this club are unbelievable. They have stepped up when needed. They've supported this team and this football club when it's been needed. The crowdfunder thing exceeded all expectations. They've even shown patience with regards to when we were trying to sort season ticket refunds out. They're now being refunded. They've been patient about getting the crowdfunder packages out because we swapped our supplier, after the event. So, it talks so much more than me having to sit here and go, they're amazing. They are amazing, and they continue to surprise me, humble me. It's fantastic, and I hope that they understand that on certain things we haven't played for time. We've been doing it the right way. I always said that the club shop would get done. I always said that the refunds would get done, and I always said that the crowdfunder stuff would go out, and it is, and it has, and it's happening. So it's just taken us a little bit longer to get those things done, but. Hopefully now it gives us the opportunity to really focus on the season and improving our season. And it only takes a couple of wins and we'll be up in 8th or 9th or something silly like that, and we'll be competing again. So it's very early on in the season. We didn't have a good start to last season either. And then I think the FA Cup win showed that the boys have got real character and spirit, and they're not going to take this easy. They're here they all know what we want to do this year. We don't just want to be also rounders. We've got to improve. We've got to improve in the right way.
Brilliant. On a sort of wider perspective to Dan Yeovil Town then, you're obviously on the National League board as well. What's the feeling amongst the board of the current situation right now?
Well, it's a difficult one for me, really, because I feel like I'm in the minority in the National League board. In that, I think first and foremost, the board have done an amazing job. Key personnel on the board have done an amazing job of keeping our league going. You know, getting funds agreed in such a quick time with government, with DCMS, getting it through, getting money to the clubs so that we can continue. So I think I think there's an awful lot of credit, and I think as much as there are clubs having a real difficulty with the way the funds have been distributed, I think let's not forget that without them we wouldn't be playing. You know, we are one of the clubs that has been affected in a negative way with the distribution. We certainly aren't getting our losses covered, which we were told we would. But I've got faith that the board will deal with it in the right way now, and bring a panel in, and hopefully the clubs will get what they need and get what they should get. But let's not forget, playing football, and in a really, really difficult time at the moment. I think that's the most important thing.
And finally then, what would you say the sort of next steps are for not just the National League, but for Yeovil Town as well in the next few months? Obviously, it's so hard to tell, but what would you kind of see as the next step for the football club?
Well, obviously, the effects of this year is back, you know, many of our kind of plans, and in many ways we've had to firefight, which is why I do appreciate supporters sticking with us and being part of that. But I think over the next few months, it's about stabilising our position again in terms of financials of the clubs and our staff, and getting through this lockdown initially, and getting people back to work, and because there's no doubt that we work much more efficiently when staff are working from the office, and improve our league position, which is obviously at the top of our list now. Now we've got in a situation where we are playing football, and we have got a squad together. A lot of those players were the players that were with us last year and did unbelievably well last year. Still the same management and coaching set up. So I think our immediate focus now is to improve league position and make sure we get ourselves on a good run, and we start winning games instead of drawing them all. And then our longer term plans are still there. They actually haven't been affected too much by this epidemic, or the pandemic as it is. We are still looking to improve our facilities, put some long-term routes down for the club, and so that the club's here for 100 years, and it can operate under its own steam.